the narrative is Lori's not wanting to give the money back. Is that true?
That's not necessarily true. There were times when we asked for specific projects, yes.
Okay. But to answer the question, is it true that you don't want to give the money back?
No, that's not true.
Okay. But that's also not your decision.
Right.
From what you're saying.
Right.
Okay. You are listening to the East Texas Banner right here at easttexasbanner.com. Got the privilege this morning of sitting down with the Chief Appraiser for Jasper County, Ms. Lori Barnett. Thank you for sitting down with me.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, okay. So let's talk about a few things, because what I would like to do is make this as informational as possible for the citizens out here. Okay. I'm a citizen. I pay taxes.
Me too.
We all pay taxes, right? Or property taxes. So let's talk about a couple things right off the bat that is that the people need to be aware of, like the business personal property.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about that, because for businesses out there who have their form that they have to fill out every year,
right,
I think
the
it
rendition.
is. Tell me about a little bit about that.
Okay, so this year the form is a little different, and if you're looking online for the form, it's 50-144, and it's called the Business Personal Property Rendition of Taxable Property. This year there is a new exemption for personal property, and it's if your value, your inventory, if everything is less than $125,000, you're exempted up to $125,000. If you fill out and turn your handy dandy form back in, if you're less than $125,000, you're not going to get one of these every year. But if you don't send it back, you will continue to get them.
Okay.
So we're asking that anyone
who's got a business.
Yes, yes.
That's huge.
It is. It's great for the small businesses.
Right.
Because most of them are going to be zeroed out.
Right.
So there's just a few sections to fill out, but most importantly, we need you in Section 5 to check the box that says that you certify the market value of the tangible personal property is $125,000 or less. And that puts it on the record.
And that's it.
And that's it. It's painless. They can get it off our website. They can get it off the state's website.
Okay.
You can email it back.
What was that? What was the number on that form?
It is 50-144.
50-144. So if you're a business out there and you're tired of filling out that documentation, and that's really, now let me see if I understand what you're saying. So like all of the stuff that people have for their businesses, including their stock. So if I have a shop out here and say I have $100,000 worth of stock inventory sitting in here waiting to be sold, and then I have a handful of computers and I have a telephone and this whole deal, then that's basically, for the most part, it's going to fall under that $125,000.
That's right. Most small businesses do.
Okay. So when you say they don't have to fill it out again,
right,
or won't have to do an annual,
right,
how long does that last?
We still have to keep an eye on it to see if the business has grown.
Okay.
And if it appears that it might be over, then we would come back and say, hey, would you fill out another one?
Gotcha.
And if you say, no, it's not, then here we go.
Okay. Okay. So, easy enough. Let's talk about notices.
Notices.
All right. So how does that process work?
Okay. So if you're a new owner, or if your value went up over $1,000, or your taxable goes up over $1,000, you're going to get a notice.
Okay.
So, and when I say if your market value goes up over $1,000 or your taxable, there are literally cases where your market value did not change, or your market value might have gone down, but you were paying on a cap, meaning you weren't paying that. So you might still go up a little bit, even though you see your market value going down or staying the same.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. So you'll receive a notice if it goes up over $1,000?
Over $1,000.
Over $1,000. Are you seeing a lot of those?
Notices, yes.
Quite a few?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say if it's because there are values going up, definitely. But it also, if you're a new owner,
Right.
then you're going to get a notice regardless.
Okay. Okay. So if you recently bought property, you're going to get the initial notice basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So,
And when you get that notice, check your mailing address, check your exemptions.
Right,
and
right, right.
remember that if you look online, exemptions are not going to show up online.
Okay.
Or not all of them anyway. For protection for the elderly and the disabled, those type exemptions aren't going to show up.
but it'll show that there's exemptions, just it won't detail what those are.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So one of the questions that I've got is this, in the world of social media and the world of Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all this stuff, we never see you guys joining into the social media thing. It seems like everybody in government on some level has got some sort of Facebook page or something.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
There is a reason for that.
Okay.
We have not done a Facebook page. We've been asked to, but
Okay.
someone else created a Facebook page as
Okay.
the Jasper County Appraisal District and put out information. And it actually, people miss their deadlines because of it.
Yeah.
So we have not created one because of that one being out there.
Right.
Because of the confusion.
Okay.
This way we can say, if you're seeing it on Facebook, it did not come from this office.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about those deadlines for a minute because does everybody have the same deadline
No.
for their stuff?
There's the majority of them probably have the same, but there's at the very least, at least 4 different dates of deadlines right now, and probably a few more than that.
Why is it done like that?
Well, we have to send out the first batch, which is the majority of them usually.
Okay.
And then you still, even though we're supposed to try and get notices out at a certain time,
Right.
your ag applications, they have till the end of May to come in. Your renditions don't come in till April 15th. So, yes, April 15th. So then we have to work those.
Yeah.
So then you're going to have your ag stuff coming out. Then you're
Sure.
going to have your renditions coming out. And then we may find things that needed a correction. So there may be supplementals that come out.
Okay. So it just has staggered dates.
Yes.
So don't trust, if your neighbor has a date of XYZ, it may not be your date.
That's exactly right. So always look on your notice to see what your date is.
Okay. So tell me, I was in the meeting the other day with the board and I heard a phrase about informals. What is an informal actually?
Okay, so an informal is when you come in and you just work with an appraiser here.
Okay.
And sometimes you can reach a settlement, you sign off and you're done
Like during protest time?
during protest time.
Okay. Okay.
And then, because you have 30 days to file your protest.
Okay.
So when you come in, or if you call or mail it in, email, whatever you do, if you call, they're going to tell you, we need you to send that protest in.
Right.
That's the only way we can keep up with you.
Right.
If you call and you left a message, what if we don't get back to you within that 30-day time?
Okay.
So
Okay.
we always ask, just be sure, get it filed.
Yeah.
Let us get you in there where we can work you.
So another question is, have you ever protested your appraisals?
Not in Jasper County.
Okay, not in Jasper County. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But you have protested probably in the past?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know exactly how the end user feels in the process, or the citizen.
I do.
It feels in the
I
process.
try to look at it. Which is why we do our informals the way that we do, asking them, because you may call and talk to an appraiser and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, so you're good. 30 days later, you come up with another question and you've missed your deadline.
Yeah.
So we try to get them in. We try to get them where they're logged in, documented that they do have a protest. If they need time to think about it, okay, you're still covered. You're still got your protest in line.
Gotcha. Okay. So going back to this meeting, this meeting with the board, it seemed a little bit contentious It seemed like
You could slice it with a knife, couldn't
yeah,
you?
it was pretty contentious, and it's almost like, is that how they normally are? Is that how the board meetings are?
No, not usually. Not usually at all. It's usually very quiet.
Do you think it's around protest time that tensions kind of start flaring?
Oh, definitely. Protest always gets
Always.
people upset.
Yeah, yeah. So I heard a few things, and I just kind of want to go through this list with you and allow you to clarify on some things. So, from a standpoint of the board and you as chief, how does this work? Is it a deal where, the board, you answer to the board? Obviously, you have your state requirements that you have to answer to, right?
Right.
But, are you kind of the spearhead of this deal and the board kind of follows what you want to do? Or is it the board and then they kind of dictate what you do on certain levels? Is that a
They
good
don't
question?
rubber stamp me.
Okay.
I actually, that was kind of humorous to think Mr. Gravis or Mr. Kinnear were rubber stamping me all these years. But
Sure.
no, as far as the appraisals, the board has no say in the appraisals. They can't talk about values. They can't pretend to be an appraiser or anything like
Gotcha.
that. So that is between me and the comptroller.
Okay.
As far as the governance of the office, the board does make the final decisions,
Okay.
but it is with input from me.
So the board handles more of the, like you say, governance of the office here.
Yes.
Okay, and you work with the comptroller on all your state required
values
stuff.
and-
Yeah,
yes.
all that stuff on the appraisal side.
Right.
Right. Okay, so it is kind of a both and a little bit
Right.
because you do have input whenever you're being asked, to give record about whatever the question is from the board. Correct.
Right.
Right. So it kind of works more like a city council type of deal, where you have the city council, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like whenever the Jasper City Council asked Greg Kelly, who's the city manager, to step up and kind of communicate about some of the things that they're discussing, that's kind of the role in a way.
Right.
During those board meetings, is kind of is that the same type of functionality of how those meetings play out? The board discusses and does what they do. You're there available to provide information?
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Pretty much. And we report to them. We tell them, what we've been up to and how many field checks we've done.
Gotcha.
All that good stuff.
Okay. So let's talk about, there was a question about employees. Okay. There's a question about employees. How many employees you have. And it seemed like that was a little bit of a moving target as to try to figure out the best way to answer that. Because most people, whenever they're hiring employees, I can tell you exactly how many employees I have, right? And the county can probably look on their documentation and see exactly how many employees they have. So how is that different with you guys? How does that work? Because you know how many employees you have, but then there's a question of some time off and stuff like that, right?
Right. And kind of like what you said with the county, I think any business, any entity is probably struggling with the same thing. We have vacancies that we haven't been able to provide employees for, but then you also have employees who may be out on FMLA.
Okay, and that is?
The Family Medical Leave Act.
Okay.
So
like, say they have some medical issues or something like that, they're out on that. And what does that require? I mean, how does that change their employment?
they still have their job when they come back.
Okay.
But depending on how long you're out, if you're out for quite a while, and it has happened, we only pay, and I may not be exactly right on this, but I think they will only pay for insurance up to 3 months.
Okay.
And that's not like a choice of ours. That's because of the size of the number of employees.
Okay.
That's something else.
So the county won't pay, or your budget won't, the insurance won't,
Yes, the insurance will not.
will not continue
Right.
after 3 months.
Right.
Is that kind of policy driven here?
It's not policy. It's the FMLA law.
Oh, it's the law.
Yeah, yeah.
So they won't pay after 3 months.
Yeah, because we're I forget. There's a minimum of how many employees you have to have for that to, because if you were a large entity,
Right.
your insurance would be paid for longer.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we don't meet that criteria.
So let's just talk about it in the grand scheme of how many appraisers you currently have versus how many vacancies.
Okay.
So
Okay.
do we know that?
Well, it's office staff because not everybody's an appraiser.
Okay. I got you.
So currently we have positions for 16 full-time employees.
Okay.
We have 13 full-time employees right at the moment. We've been trying to hire for 3 different positions in 3 different departments.
Okay.
And then we have 2 part-time people.
Okay. And then you have 2 part-time people.
2 part-time people.
Okay. So if I'm looking at this correctly, so you currently have 13
Full-time employees.
full-time employees staffed here. When you say full-time employees, what kind of time frame are we talking about? Are we talking about, because is the city on like a four-day work week, or is it a 5-day work week, or?
The city.
No, the county. I said the city.
I think some of them are, and some of us are too.
Okay.
We actually have basically 2 schedules. We have Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and then we have the 4-day work week where it kind of changes a little bit because you have openers and closers who come in at a little bit different. But we come in at 6:45 and get off at 5:15. They rotate if you're off on Monday or if you're off on Friday.
Okay. But those individuals only work basically 4 days a week.
Correct.
Okay. So out of that 13 that we're talking about, how many people do you think you have on a 4-day work week?
On the 4-day work week, let's see.
Or is that just set aside for appraisers or office staff?
No. But you do have to meet certain requirements. You can't go short time. If you've used up all your PTO and you need to be out or whatever, if you go short time, then you go 5 days a week.
When you say short time, what does that mean?
That means that you've used all your PTO,
Okay.
and so you're short time, and you don't get paid for the time you're not here.
Okay.
So then you come back to 5 days a week. It's kind of like a privilege because we need whoever's working those 4 days, that hour in the morning and the time in the afternoon, you really need to be working. And that was the agreement when the board agreed to let us do it. We're not sitting around eating breakfast and drinking our coffee, and it's no phones and no property owners. So it's time, you can get so much done without all the interruptions.
Gotcha.
So we just have to make sure we don't interrupt each other.
Okay. So out of your 13, how many people you think you have
During the 4-day?
running a 4-day?
Okay, let's think. 2, 4, maybe 6.
Okay. So about half, roughly? Okay. So about half. So, and you're trying to fill 3 other spots.
Yes.
For the office. What are those positions?
One is a field clerk.
Okay. Now, what does that do?
Actually, I'm sorry. We filled one of the other positions. So the 2 are going to be field clerks, that's where you go out in the field,
Okay.
take pictures, draw, hopefully become an appraiser. But
Okay.
this is like an entry level into the appraisal department.
Okay. So you have 2 of those positions available.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot here. How much does that pay?
Oh gosh.
Is that
It's in the 30,000s. I wish you'd asked me that
to
sooner.
go out and take? To go out and take pictures
Well, it's not just taking pictures.
and draw.
Yes.
Okay.
You're out on someone's property,
Right.
and you're dodging the dogs and the snakes and the open sewer and,
Okay.
and all the other things.
Okay.
So yes, but you're measuring, you're documenting.
Okay.
And as a field appraiser, you're not putting a value. You're just like data collecting.
You're a data collection.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're out there and you're listening and you're looking for a $30,000 plus job a year, that might be something somebody's out there listening. Be like, hey, I'm going to put my hat in the ring on that.
Yes,
deal.
and please have some basic math skills. Please.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah.
That may be where I fall down there. But so if we're talking about the 4-day work week, because I was listening during the meeting, and Mr. Kinnear, I guess he's recently reelected or put back on the. Are they elected or are they appointed? How does that
They're
work?
elected.
They're elected. Okay. So Mr. Kinnear is reelected to the board, and he was bringing up he brought up the 16 days of holiday pay and then 24 or 2 days a week on personal time, or I think the personal time was being calculated 2 days a month as they accumulated. Is that how that works?
The PTO, because
The
we
PTO?
don't get personal days.
Okay.
I know some companies do, and some entities I think give in, but we don't.
So, but your PTO time, what does that stand for? PTO.
Paid time off.
Paid time off.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. I was thinking personal time off. Okay. Paid time off. Okay. That makes more sense. So I guess with his contention, he was bringing to the table, you got 16 days off for holidays that are required. And then 2 days a month are accumulated throughout the year, which ends up being 24, and a total of 40 days off that's paid, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So then my question was, okay, well, are we on a 5-day work week, or are we on a 6-day work week, or a 4-day work week? What is so I started looking around and I was trying to find that online, just what is this actual 4-day work week location, and trying to calculate those numbers, because, I'm sitting here going, okay, wait a second. If everybody's running a 4-day work week, which they're not, you're basically saying you've got 5 or 6 here, or maybe 7 that's actually not on that 4-day work week. I'm looking at it going, dude, I think I need to go to work for the appraisal district.
Well, come on.
Because in all honesty, if you're looking at it across a 4-day work week versus, some of these, you guys, and I was looking at the budget. These are not low paying jobs. I don't think.
Well, when you say that, in 22, we were written up by the comptroller because our salaries were so low. The current board brought us up, I believe it was last year, to where we were similar to what the county and the city were getting.
Okay.
Because you can't expect your employees to make that much less,
right,
and not have at least similar benefits to the entities that we're working for.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So the 4-day work week is still a full 40-hour.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
job.
It's still 40 hours.
It's still 40 hours. Okay. All right. Well, that makes a little bit more sense, because in my head, I'm sitting here going, okay, wait a second. If we're working a 4-day work week, and I'm.
If you're 5 days a week, you're working 8 hours a day. If you're 4 days, then you're 10 hours.
You're working your 10 hours. Okay. We've had, since the meeting, there's been a few more resolutions come about where the entities are asking for the return of funds, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I think the question that I still have here is, if the monies were accumulated over time, all right, say you guys set your budget, and we'll just kind of walk through my analogy. Tell me what's screwed up about it. Okay. You guys set your budget at 1.8. Okay. These are just numbers that I'm throwing out. These are not directly reflecting anything you guys have, or anything that you guys have in the current proposed budget. Say it's 1.8. And come back at the end of the year, you see you only spent 1.4. I'm trying to use easy numbers. But you got $400,000 that is excess. Okay. So This 606J has been being brought up. Mr. Kinnear's brought it up a number of times. You know, other people are starting to bring it up. This is now in the resolutions. You know, this thing is evolving. In that 606J, the way it's communicated is that it can be given back in check form or given back in credit form, or not given back at all. Is that what you?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay. Or not given back at all. So obviously at some point, so the monies that have accumulated, which, you know, I've heard 2.4, 2.2, 2 million, 1.7, whatever that number is. Okay. That is in excess. You know, when we talked before, you said the prior board encumbered those funds.
Right.
Okay. Now, if we're looking at my analogy of 1.8, and you got this excess of 400,000, tell me if I'm seeing this correctly. Each entity has a certain percentage point that represents their portion.
Right, and it's based off their levy.
It's based off the levy. Okay. So, say Jasper County, just for grins, their percentage represents $100,000.
Okay.
Okay. If we see that it takes that, or their portion is that $100,000, you can make the decision to not give that money back, or credit it, or send the check. Is that correct? Is that your decision?
Not me specifically, no. But I do have input with the board, yes.
So you have input, but whose decision is it?
The board of directors.
Okay. So if the money hasn't been given back, you know, the narrative is Lori's not wanting to give the money back. Is that true?
That's not necessarily true. There were times when we asked for specific projects, yes.
Okay. But to answer the question, is it true that you don't want to give the money back?
No, that's not true.
Okay. But that's also not your decision.
Right.
From what you're saying.
Right.
Okay. So the way this money accumulated was how? How did the money accumulate?
At the end of each cycle, the board was obligating all the funds, and then they would determine later in the year if they wanted to give something back or credit something back.
So the prior board determined that they would not give any back, give a little back, or give a mixture.
Correct.
Of credit in. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
That's correct.
So when did 606J become a thing? Was it just in the past few years?
It's always been there.
Okay, so
but it allows for the obligation of funds and the different things.
Okay. Whose job is it? Whose job is it to, you know, and this is because I don't know. I've never served on this board. But do they go through a class to get on the board?
No.
Like an educational class or anything like that?
There are classes that are offered, and they have a handbook, and there's some training for them, yes.
Is 606J in that at all?
Oh, absolutely.
So 606J is made readily available to, along with everything else that
With
they're learning.
everything else.
But I mean, I can imagine getting on a board, you're kind of drinking out of a fire hose, right?
Right.
On some level.
Right.
You know.
And you have to look at who, you know, your board members, the board members that I've had the last couple of years, they came in and they said, oh, well, you've got a good fund balance here, and let's start looking at this. They sat through their first audit. They did some training, read their books.
Right.
And then they started doing credits back.
Okay.
Which is where we talked about before, where it comes off the budget, lowers the allocation payments, and that's done before it's collected from the taxpayers.
Okay. So if we go back to my analogy,
Okay.
and we say $100,000 has got to go back over here to to the county. Then maybe Brooklyn has 10,000 or whatever. Okay. That amount, the board, from what you're saying, has to determine that they're either going to not give the money back, they're going to credit the money, or they're going to cut them a check and send them a check.
Yeah, anything that the board doesn't assign is to go back, and I believe it says is a form of a credit.
Okay. So when you say unassigned and you say encumbered, the word encumbered gets very cumbersome.
Yes, it
not
does.
to use a pun there, but
Right.
it gets cumbersome because what is the definition of encumbered from the standpoint of a board? If a board is looking at this $400,000 that's left over, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, I'm just asking you. You're saying that the prior boards basically made the decision not to give some of the money back
Right.
at certain times. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so how can you do that when the law with 606J, it doesn't seem like there's much. I mean, I know when you're saying that you can not give the money back, you can credit it, or you can give the money back.
If you're committing the funds or obligating or encumbering, there's all these different words that can be used. Then that's not, they're assigned. They're assigned for a purpose.
Okay, so you have unassigned, basically you have two buckets here.
Yes.
Unassigned money and assigned money.
Correct.
Okay, so the act of encumbering funds. So say I'm sitting on the board and I went through the fire hose of education and I'm sitting here listening to all this and I'm going, okay, now, because there's some people who's going to listen to this and they're going to go, okay, this makes more sense now. Some people are going to have already turned off the interview because some of this just kind of seems like it wads up. I'm just trying to get it as simple as possible. With what you guys are handling from a money standpoint, you have assigned monies and unassigned monies. The act of encumbering funds is that they have that at a board meeting and they say, listen, we want to take these funds and go ahead and slide these into the assigned category.
Right.
So that they can be utilized for XYZ.
Yes.
So now
Correct.
it falls out of the unassigned space. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. I think I'm getting it now. Okay. So at that point, once the board determines that they need to, that they're going to take that money and assign it, were there any credits given that represented? I mean, because in my mind, and maybe this is just because I haven't went through the education, but if there's $400,000 at the end of the year, and we break it up based on percentage, and we say, okay, the county is owed $100,000, then a credit that reflects that $100,000 should be given, or the money given back, if it's not assigned.
Correct.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly.
Okay. So when they encumber it, is that just a meeting and they decide we're gonna encumber the funds, or is there something bigger that has to happen in order to encumber those funds?
Well, like a vote? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like a vote, or I mean, it just seems to me like if the entities are paying monies, right, to cover the budget of the office, right?
Right.
Is that kind of how that works?
Right.
Okay. So if the entities are paying the monies to cover the needs of the office and cover the budget of the office, then it seems like it would be more than just a vote. I don't know. It seems like a form might need to be filled out or something in my mind. You know what I mean? I mean, it seems so. But you're saying, I mean, so how does that process work from a person who's never been to a board meeting? We have X amount of thousands of dollars that's left over at the end of the year. Do they meet in December and they decide, okay, this is how much money's left over, and we're going to go ahead and encumber, which basically means move that money over into the assigned category?
Right. It's usually like probably February of the next year, because you have to wait till you get all your bills in to see what you really have left over.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So then they just basically make a vote and you move on.
Pretty much. And then we wait for an audit
Okay.
to make sure that there's no hiccups or anything.
Is that an outside audit or inside?
Outside.
It's an outside audit? Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay. I'm trying to get my head wrapped around all this.
I'm sorry.
No. So I did notice that in the budget there was a line item there for ARB, and ARB again is what?
Appraisal Review Board.
Okay. So this is, when did they show up?
During protest season.
Okay.
After you filed your protest.
Okay.
If you did an informal but you couldn't reach an agreement, you go on to protest.
Okay.
You don't have to have an informal. There's actually a box you can check that says, I don't want an informal, I just want to go on and protest.
Okay.
And so
Have you noticed that on the line item specifically, it looks like that line item increased
It did.
pretty substantially.
It did.
And
We've been slowly increasing it.
okay. But I mean, like last year, you guys spent somewhere in the neighborhood of around $75,000+
Roughly,
on
yes.
that. And I think you guys went ahead and bumped the budget up to $80,000 to cover it.
Right.
So
For 27.
for
yes.
27 and that's proposed.
Proposed, right.
Right. So if somebody is going to protest their notice, right? Trying to make sure I have all the lingo down, but they protest their notice, they come in and they say they don't want an informal. They want to go right to the ARB.
Right.
Then they don't get an informal, they go straight to ARB. Is that what you are seeing a lot of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have more and more that go straight to the ARB.
Okay.
And that's their right. They can do that.
Do you guys have the latitude here to just be like, you know what, we don't want to do an informal. We want to just push them to the ARB.
No, if they request an informal, we have to offer it to them. Even,
Okay.
we may not be able to realistically help them, but
Right.
we definitely will listen to them and try.
Right. So okay. I mean, because that's something that I'm interested in knowing, is that if somebody comes in here and they request an informal, is that how that works? They have to come in here or call you guys or set up something?
You
or a
send in
form?
your protest. You can either mail it in, email it. You can go on to our website, set up a portal, and we'll
Right.
communicate through that portal also. We have a drop box out front.
Okay.
You can drop it in there instead of coming in and standing in line.
Right.
And then we'll reach back out to you. If you've checked that requested informal, we'll reach out to you.
Okay. Is there any idea, or and this may be a difficult question to answer, but any kind of idea as to how many informals you guys did last year versus how many ARBs were done?
I could have looked that up for you.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, because I mean, that's I think that would be interesting to know. I think some people think they're going to get more headway if they go to the ARB, maybe.
And they might.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so basically the funding for the ARB is they get paid a small percent, a small amount
A stipend.
like a stipend when they come, and then takes care of whatever the other situations are there. So but you're noticing an increase in people requesting ARB meetings.
Yes, and we also have an increase of tax agents.
Okay.
And those pretty much usually go straight to the board.
When you say tax agents, what does that mean?
It's where they've hired an outside contractor.
Okay. So me as a person, I can go hire somebody
Oh, absolutely.
to represent me. That's not an attorney.
It could be an attorney if that's what you wanted.
Okay.
But
So-
there are companies that's what they do. That's their job.
Oh, okay. So you're seeing an uptick in that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, is there, I'm still trying to get to, in my head while we're talking, I'm still trying to get to this, I'm trying to get down to figuring out the demonization of this office on some level. If you guys answer to a board and the board decides to do X, Y, Z, I mean, it's like now, you've got these resolutions coming in. I'm not sure exactly, obviously when there's resolutions coming in, that could, the budget for this office has to be voted on, at least what I learned in the meeting, has to be voted on by the entities, right?
Right.
So now we're figuring out what to do with this, either 1.7 to 2.10, 2. Whatever it is, whatever that number is. Do you foresee all of the monies being distributed back to the entities? Because I think last time we talked, you made a statement, or maybe I just dreamed this, but you said if we give money back to one, we have to give it back to all. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just because you didn't sign a resolution.
Does it?
It's a percentage that goes back to everyone.
Okay.
So it's not just for those that did a resolution.
Does it seem like the board's going to try to make that decision to give that money back, or how's that work?
The board's been working on that.
Okay.
I mean, over the
This current board?
this current board, they've credited back. I don't have an exact number in front of me, but it's about 800,000.
Okay.
They've taken the bull by the horns, but they're also learning the budget. They're learning
The process.
the process.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I've reached out to some of the entities, asked them to come and sit down with me so we can let's go through this step, because since I started, I think there's 2 remaining people in all of these 19 entities that are still the same people.
Okay.
So I said, let's try and reach out. Let's sit down and let's see, this is what I'm sending you. Are you getting this?
Right.
And then what do you do with it? Okay.
Right.
So let's see where we're miscommunicating between us.
Okay. Do you feel like that's because I mean the concern, or I guess the opposition's argument is, you basically been sitting on this money and hoarding this money, and for you guys to potentially buy a building, or or whatever, lawsuits as well.
The lawsuit is always the big thing for the prior board.
Why is that?
The chairman, Mr. Gravis, he was here whenever the paper mill was in the big lawsuit.
Okay.
And that cost a lot. So it was always a fear in the back of his mind, I think.
Okay. So that's one of the reasons why we hung on some of the money? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I think so you're saying the new board, it has been moving forward over the past few years. What is it, 2 years?
2 years. This will be the 3rd year.
Okay, so we're in the 3rd year now. But over the last 2 years, they have been giving back this money in credit form.
Right.
Okay. So if the money is credited to them, then that amount is actually earmarked for that entity the following year to be reduced by whatever money comes in, or whatever money's requested in the budget.
Right.
Is that it?
Right.
Okay. Holy smokes! I think I'm getting close to understanding it a little bit. So that's credited over. So that money's just automatically moved over and earmarked for that for their overall amount, or reduced by their overall amount. Okay. So you feel, so at this point, as the chief appraiser, you feel like considering the current board's handling of what they've done in the last couple of years with 606J, that it's probably likely that they're going to give it back, or they've
already made decisions to start unassigning.
Okay. Okay. So they'll take the monies that were encumbered,
Right.
slide them over into unassigned.
Right.
Am I right with that?
The actual monies, but then they will take that that line item, let's say ARB, because we've always kept an overflow for ARB, because you never know what you're going to do in the
Right.
year.
Right.
You know, we could have as many as 36,000 protests, but do you really want us to budget and ask for that every year?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So how many, I mean, just honestly, how many, just on an average, protests you think you get a year?
2,600.
Really?
Yeah. It could be a little more some years it's not.
Right,
It
right,
just
right.
depends.
It just kind of averages out about that much.
Depends on what's going on.
I gotcha.
This last year we had, our market's been a little, you know, it started to go down actually. And
right.
then all of a sudden it started spiking back up.
Mm-hmm.
Usually these last few years it's just been on a steady increase. So if
More.
you wonder where to live, it's either the lake area or Buna. Those are the two hot topics that we have.
Why do you say that?
They have the highest sales, more people moving into those areas.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the overflow from mid-county.
Okay.
They want to be close enough to eat out. They want to be close enough to their doctors, but they don't want to be
In the middle of it.
in the middle of it.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you have that Buna area, and then obviously the retirement area.
Up at the lake.
I don't even know if it's actually a retirement area at this
It's
point.
not so much anymore.
This thing is becoming more and more of. I mean, I'm liking what they're doing on the resort side of things. You know, I mean, it really kind of is becoming a real thing there. So
He's worked hard at it.
oh
He has a vision.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So is there anything that you want to say to the community beyond what we've already discussed?
The board is doing a good job. They really are. And
Okay.
they've taken a lot of flack for what happened in prior years.
Okay.
I think anyone will tell you your first year of serving on a board or your first term, which is 2 years, is all about learning.
Right.
And I would say in that 2 years, they have done a really good job of educating themselves and trying to be proactive.
Right.